In Geometry Dash, one of the most interesting subsections to the community as a whole is the top playing community, which consists of all the players that constantly aim to push the skill ceiling once thought possible in the game. In its nearly 12-year lifespan, the game is almost unrecognizable in terms of what we once thought was impossible to achieve in this game. Comparing the hardest levels in the game 5 years ago to the hardest levels in the game now, yeah, we've definitely broken through the skill ceiling from all those years ago. One of the ways the community likes to keep track of what's currently considered the most difficult levels in the game at any point is through these websites that log levels based on their difficulty from player opinions, and the most popular of them all being the Demon List. The top one level on this website usually runs on a cycle. About once every year to year and a half, we get a new one placed above the old top one, with the two exceptions being Tartarus and Tidal Wave, lasting longer than most levels on the cycle. Now, you may be wondering, what could this possibly have to do with the title of this video? Well, due to the popularity that these websites have gained within the top playing community, some other versions of it have sprung up as well. The most recognizable spin-offs being the Global List, the Unrated Demon List, the Platformer List, and the subject of today's video, the Challenge List. The Challenge List keeps a record of all the hardest levels in the game that are under 30 seconds in length. That doesn't sound so bad, right? 30 seconds? That's like a blink of the eye and the level's over. They can't possibly be that hard. You'd be quite surprised. Anyway, the level I want to focus on for today's video that comes from the challenge list is VSC. Why, you may ask? Well, connecting back to the intro of the video, VSC is arguably one of the most well-known top ones in the entire game, as it reigned on the top of the challenge list for a baffling 1,312 days, or just over 3.5 years. Wow, right? On the Demon List, the top one usually gets dethroned about once a year, but VSC managed to last as the hardest challenge for 3.5 years? Jesus Christ, dude, how hard is this level? Surprisingly, not very. Many victors of VSC over the last few months of it being the top one challenge have said that the level really doesn't feel all that hard compared to some of the levels on the Demon List, and some have even said VSC is about, if not less than, the difficulty of Slaughterhouse. That means if we were to create a list of every hardest level in the entire game, that includes unrated levels too, VSC wouldn't even be in the top 20. So, how on earth did it manage to last on the top of the list for so long? People beat top 20s almost daily now, and Slaughterhouse just recently hit 100 victors according to the Demon List. As of 10 days ago writing this script, VSC has been throned after its nearly 4-year rule in the challenge list. So in this video, we are going to investigate the reason why VSC was so hard to dethrone, and the overall history of people trying to take it down themselves. Before we dive into today's video, hey, I promise I'll be brief, I would like to announce that I am back on the YouTube grind, yes sir! I just beat Frostbeard recently, and my 6, nearly 7-month journey has finally come to an end. Wow. I apologize that the bulk of my videos had taken a slight dip during my grind period, since I was in essence just making videos barely hitting the 10-minute mark to keep my channel active, and ironically these are some of my best performing videos, so like, sure, I guess. Thank you guys. But now that I finished my new hardest project, I want to start making longer, more valuable content. So be on the lookout for that this summer. As well as marking your calendars for the Frostbeard stream highlights that will be releasing on my birthday. Hell yeah, you best believe I'm aura farming it. That level was hard, bro. Last note, thank you to all my channel members, especially those of you who continued to be members even while I was so locked in on Frostbeard, since I had no time to provide you guys content updates or sneak peeks about new videos. I appreciate you guys a lot, seriously. And finally, come check out my Discord server. Not only is it semi-active, but I also like to message in there too, so if you want to say hi to me, I'll most likely respond. Without further ado, let's begin. Starting off, we need to first figure out what makes VSC so hard. The level is only 16 seconds long, half the time of the max length of a challenge level, so there is no way it's that hard. Oh. Yeah, so not only do the hitboxes for it make it look like an impossible level, but it also has 61 frame perfects over its measly 16-second length. That's like 3 frame perfects every second. Also, it's spammy, like really spammy, like it hurts to spam on the level. So we got high CPS, it's a sea of frame perfects, and you also have limited vision on top of it all. So it sounds like a ball of fun, am I right guys? Over its 1,300 day reign on the challenge list, a whopping 27 people have beaten the level. I feel like there are 2 ways you could interpret that number. The first way is that, damn, over its 3.5 year reign, it has only received 27 victors. Or, damn, 27 27 people have beat this level, how is it still top 1? Couldn't someone just make a level harder? They obviously beat the top 1. Well, first off, I think that the 27 victor count correctly represents VSC's increase in accessibility over the years to new challenge players, since the skill sets required to beat them are rather awkward in combination at times, so it took time for people to adapt and combine them together. I still just can't imagine how many victors got irreversible arm pains after beating it, because VSC just looks like a hot mess of a level to play for a long period of time anyway. Alright, now that we have established what makes VSC so hard, let's brainstorm a little bit. Why couldn't someone just make a level with VSC-like timings just for a few seconds more and verify it? Wouldn't it be harder? Well, yeah, it would be. But the problem with this mindset is that it interprets VSC as a level that was only slightly harder than the previous top 1 challenge. Take Acheron and Avernus for example, back over on the demon list. Their difficulties prior to 2.2 were extremely comparable, with many people saying Acheron is harder than Avernus, while other people were saying the opposite. Avernus and Acheron are definitely very close in difficulty. Maybe not so much more now in 2.2 with the updates nerfing all the timings in Acheron, but that's a topic I talked about in a previous video, so I'm not going to get into that today. But on the other hand, Tidal Wave and Acheron are incomparable in difficulty. I will say with confidence that no matter how many years you will look down the road, no one is going to ever say Acheron is harder than Tidal Wave. I guarantee that. This same logic can be applied back over on the challenge list. When VSC was first placed, do you want to know what the top 1 challenge was at the time? Go on. Seriously, take a guess. Here, I'll give you 3 hours to lock in a prediction. Dude, are you done yet? Let's just move on, I'm bored. It was Flutter Wonder. Yeah, Flutter Wonder. Do you want to know where it is placed now, today? 54. That is how incomparable VSC is to Flutter Wonder. No wonder VSC couldn't be dethroned for all that time. VSC was already years ahead of its time in terms of difficulty, but that's besides the point. VSC was clearly verified miles ahead of other player skill sets at the time, which unintentionally created a problem for levels wanting to be the next top 1 challenge. Level creators probably thought, in order for this to be harder than VSC, every click needs to be a 360 Hz frame perfect and invisible as well. Well, I mean, yes and no. The problem that VSC created was that everyone who wanted to be the verifier of the next top 1 challenge immediately thought that their level also had to be miles ahead of the current top 1 in terms of difficulty, when that is simply not the case. The level only needed to be just a tad bit harder than VSC, but people were unnecessarily making the most top 0 challenges ever conceived. So let's have a look at them. So now, before we begin taking a trip down memory lane with all of the challenges that were set to be the next top 1, only to be nerfed or just not verified at all, I would like to ask a favor from you guys. I know, that's a big request from me, I get it, but please try and notice a pattern among the outcomes of most of these levels, okay? Okay. Starting off, we got Hypnosis. Yeah! Oh, would you look at that? Diamond was verifying it. What a great choice. Not only had they beaten the top 3 hardest challenge levels, that of which consisted of VSC itself, they even beat the, at the time, top 1 extreme demon, Avernus. Dude, this is perfect. Avernus is like way harder than VSC. So verifying Hypnosis is gonna be like a piece of cake, right? 17%. Diamond got 17% before dropping the level. Do you guys want to know what probably is the best guess as to why? It was too hard. This was what I was talking about. VSC was so far ahead of its predecessors in terms of difficulty that everyone who wants to take a crack at dethroning VSC believes that their level needs to be borderline impossible. Not to say I'm dragging Diamond for it, I would never do that because that's just absolutely ridiculous. Nor would I ever want to shit on anyone else I talk about in this video for not pulling through with their top 1 verifications. Verifying a top 1 is hard, I get it. I am just stating the facts with some opinions sprinkled around the video as well. I heard a while ago that Diamond stopped playing Hypnosis due to some hand pains, and if this is true, that makes total sense. Again, I would never want to undermine anyone's hard effort that was put into a level for even a short period of time. Considering these are challenge levels, the amount of difficulty compressed into a level between 15 and 30 seconds long is hard to even process in our heads. Okay, sorry, I just had to get that out of me. Next up, we have one of my personal favorites, Merc. This one disappointed me the most, honestly, since not only do I absolutely love the song, but the aura and atmosphere that Merc presents is just outright peak. This level was being verified by 𝒹𝒾𝓋𝒾𝒹𝒹, an admittedly underrated player who managed to get runs of 46 to 100 and 30 to 56, before, unsurprisingly, dropping the level. This trend of people dropping their projected top 1 challenges has become so normalized in my head that I literally felt nothing in the past when I started to see new upcoming top 1 challenge verification progress update, whatever, show up on my YouTube homepage. Having a top 1 ship challenge would have been such a breath of fresh air instead of all these wave challenges that we get. So that's kind of why I was disappointed when I saw 𝒹𝒾𝓋𝒾𝒹𝑒 was no longer being verified. And this desensitization of being hopeful for top 1 challenges really hit me with the upcoming Ricochet wave, also being verified by 𝒹𝒾𝓋𝒾𝒹𝑒. Can you guys take a guess as to what happened with this level? Here are some clues that may help. This challenge is about VSC length, yeah, and has 34 frame perfects on 120 Hz. That is absurd. For reference, the upcoming top 1 extreme demon, 𝒹𝒹𝒹, has 11 frame perfects on 120 Hz. And that level's almost 3 minutes long! So with that in mind, a 20-second level with 34 120 Hz frame perfects, do you guys think that A, the level was verified? Yay! B, the level is still being verified since something this hard is just really fun to play? Or C, the level got nerfed to remain fun for list players? Yeah, they stopped verifying it. What a surprise. Maybe because, oh, I don't know, it is too hard. Up next, we got an oldie here, an underground top 1 challenge. This 𝒹𝒾𝓋𝒾𝒹𝒃ct2? Yeah, there's not really much to say here. Again, like it's one progress video from all the way back in February of 2022, but they probably ended up dropping it because it was, say it with me now, too hard. Here's another level that was left to rot away in the trash mound of desired top 1s, 0 I sound like a broken record now, but there were like 2 progressions made on this level, with Curse getting 55% and Lamington getting 66 to 100. These aren't even that exciting to talk about. We need to just get a good one now, huh? Let's get through these, yeah? Echoes of the Abyss, Lotus Chamber, Hellish Vortex, Cabbage Chamber. Do any of you guys think this is weird? Like, not weird, but like this coincidence? There are so many challenge levels that are aimed to be top 1 that get like 1 or 2 progress videos, and then poof, gone, nothing. I swear to God, challenge players cannot get anything done, bro. Alright, now let's switch gears and look at levels that were verified, but did not manage to obtain the beloved top 1 spot. The first of which being the 3rd variant. Okay, so technically it was the top 1 challenge for a short period of time, but now we know it definitely is not top 1. There's an entire video about the whole scandal or whatever of the 3rd variant, and I highly encourage you all to give it a look. Arguably one of my overall favorite commentary videos I've ever seen on this platform. Now that we have addressed the elephant in the room, let's talk about tax evasion wave. Legends Never Die started showing signs of progress on verifying this level back in June 2023, with a video displaying their ability to do the 2-player wave spams. Their first progress of the final version wouldn't be uploaded until August of 2024, and I have to admit, they really did make this level look top 1. I was staring at my screen dumbfounded at the possibility of something this skill set focused being verified in the future, and I would have really liked to see it placed at the top of the challenge list. Unfortunately, this was not the outcome that I would have liked. Talented player 𝒹𝒾𝓋𝒾𝒹𝒃 verified the original version of the tax evasion wave challenge out of seemingly nowhere, and anticlimactically ended up not being top 1 worthy. Not only was it easier than it expected, but it didn't even get placed due to its high CPS. I have an entire video on tax evasion wave as well, so if y'all want to give that a watch, it would be very appreciated. Last 2 levels on this section are Evil and Oblivers, which were both expected to be the next top 1 challenge. After they were verified, they actually managed to get placed on the list as well. Oh, sick! I bet they put up a good fight for the top, huh? They probably landed at like number 2 and number 3, I bet. Oblivers is at 7 and Evil's at 12. Yeah, much easier than the projected top 1 difficulty. And to rapid fire these, here are all the levels that were made to be top 1 and instead are just collecting dust in the attic. I don't even know, bro. But do not give up hope, because our messiah 𝒹𝒾𝓋𝒾𝒹𝒃, I think, has not given up on their top 1 challenge verification surface. This level is a beast, filled with many ridiculous frame perfects that are literally all thumbnail worthy, and has crazy progress of 62% and 17 to 78%. 𝒹𝒾𝓋 is actually the verifier of the number 4 list challenge, Anodyne, so I think they actually have a pretty good idea for challenge list difficulty. Sure, they're not like Diamond, who is a victor of the former top 1 challenge VSC, but I think 𝒹𝒾𝓋 still has a good idea of the difficulty. Also, I would still like to mention that Legends Never Die is still verifying their buffed version of tax evasion wave with the extension, and I can't lie, this looks abysmal to play, so mad respect to them. And finally, we gotta mention the level in Purgatory, 𝒹𝒹𝒹𝒹. No, not 𝒹𝒹𝒹𝒹B, which was verified by Diamond and projected to be the top 2 difficulty on the list, which is probably wrong according to seals who already beat it. But the full version of 𝒹𝒹𝒹𝒹, yeah, this guy. Definitely top 1 for sure, with some decent progress made a long time ago, but now it just sits on the servers as an open verification, which could probably still be harder than VSC and even our new top 1 challenge today if it was verified now. So to summarize everything I just said, there were a total of 17 levels that tried to be verified to claim the top 1 spot on the challenge list. 17. But I keep saying throughout this video, the former top 1 challenge VSC. Well, that is because VSC was dethroned by a level that was once a part of that list of the challenges set out to be top 1. The new top 1 challenge, Illusion of Hell by Exen, is now our new hardest challenge in the game after 181,000 attempts. To be 100% completely honest, I'm a little sad that VSC wasn't dethroned by a different level, since I really do not like Exen gameplay, but nonetheless, this is still a ginormous achievement. GG's to Over for that. But now to wrap up this video, why wasn't VSC verified for so long? Well, I think the shortest and most logical explanation as to why are the challenge players themselves. Okay, I'm sorry, okay? Please guys, it's just a meme, I had to. But seriously, the #1 difference between a demonless player and a challengeless player is quite literally attention span. Some of these list demons push 3 minutes, 4 minutes, hell, even 9 minutes. But every challenge level is required to be under 30 seconds. Because these levels are so short, the players have just adapted to getting used to not spending a super long time on a project, which does make sense. Not to pick on anyone here, but I'm gonna have to use Seals as an example. My bad, yo, no hard feelings. Seals, the top 1 challengeless player, basically lives on this website. They pretty much have beaten every level on there, and are extremely deserving of the top 1 stats viewer spot. But let's take a look at their YouTube channel. Damn, okay, Avernus 34 to 100. That's actually pretty good progress. No more Avernus progress after that. Oh, whoa, look at that. Minus rolled 44%? That's a former impossible level, dude. I bet Seals could actually verify it soon if they keep playing. No more progress after that. See what I mean? Challenge players are really good at this game, do not get me wrong. But when it comes to long-term projects, they ain't got the patience for shit, bro. What I think is really funny is that these demonless completions on Seals' channel are all medium-length levels. Obviously, Zodiac and 𝒹𝒾𝓋𝒾𝒹𝑒𝒹 are there too, so there's exceptions when I make that claim, but still, it's kind of funny. But therein lies my point again. Challenge players really can't play something for a super long time, which is my personal belief as to why it's so hard for them to verify a new top 1 challenge. Again, that is just my opinion. There are definitely many other factors as to why these players did not go through with verifying the levels, whether it be from physical issues or life getting in the way, but for the most part, these challenges were just too damn hard. And I think it's for the best that a level like Retray Wave does not get verified in a top 0 state, especially when Caligar streams just look like this. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents on the matter. I want to preface this by saying that I am not trying to hate on anyone I mentioned in this video. Even if it sounded like I was, I promise I would not want to do that ever. Y'all challenge players are just way better than I could ever be, and I gotta give mad respect to that, alright? Anyways, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give this video a big thumbs down. Hell, even leave a mean comment here. Shit, I don't mind. I appreciate you all for sticking around until the end, and I will see you next time. Take care.